So in part one, I introduced you to the allegation that Deputy Pait drove his patrol vehicle dangerously close to Detective Amanda Juergens while she was standing in an active roadway directing traffic in Woodstock. According to Detective Juergens, this did not happen during an emergency. It followed a minor disagreement after she simply asked him to communicate with her while they were directing this traffic together. Juergens says that Pait became angry, he removed his traffic vest, he got into his vehicle, and then accelerated toward her position, passed close enough that she had to literally jump out of the way, and then left her alone to manage that intersection at the church by herself. This next recording is Detective Juergens speaking to Lieutenant Barone during the internal affairs investigation on March 6th at the Sheriff's Department. I want you to listen carefully to what she says about the incident and how frightened and emotionally overwhelmed she appears, and what she says about the department's initial response to her complaint. She's going to explain that she was already afraid that she would not be believed. She says she had previously been called a problem and words like a snitch, and she explains why that environment made her reluctant to pursue criminal charges against another deputy. As you listen, I want you to ask yourself whether she sounds like someone who believes nothing serious happened or like someone who fears the consequences of reporting it. I would know. Yeah.
This is Lieutenant Barone, Cherokee Sheriff's Office. I am in the Internal Affairs Office with Detective Amanda Juergens. Today is the 6th of March, 2026. The time is 12:13 p.m. and this is considering IA case number 2026-00006. I'm currently in the Office of Professional Standards interview room. All right. Detective Juergens, I understand that you already completed the Internal Affairs Memorandum and that Lieutenant Harris had you sign it.
Correct.
But I'm going to go ahead and read it to you again just so we're both clear that this order still stands. This is to inform you that an internal affairs investigation has been started in regards to a situation which was reported on March 2nd, 2026. Copy of allegations being supplied to you for your information. Mm-hmm. I also have supplied you with a copy of employees' duties and rights during an internal investigation, and that will be the last page of that. Mm-hmm. You are hereby ordered not to discuss this case with any person under the Internal Affairs Office, Chief Deputy, Sheriff, or Legal Counsel. Any efforts on the contrary would be considered obstruction in this investigation and a violation of a direct order. If you understand, initial and then date right here again.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, the next one was the Internal Affairs Investigation Warning. It is commonly referred to as Garrity. I wish to advise you that you're being questioned as part of an official investigation of the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. You'll be asked questions specifically directed and narrowly related to the performance of your official duties or fitness for office. You are entitled to all rights and privileges guaranteed by the laws and Constitution of the state and the Constitution of the United States, including the right not to be compelled to incriminate yourself. I further wish to advise you that if you refuse to testify or answer questions relating to the performance of your official duties or fitness for duty, you'll be subject to departmental charges, which could result in your dismissal from the Sheriff's Office. If you do answer questions, neither your statements nor any information or evidence that is gained by reason of such statements can be used against you in any subsequent criminal proceeding. However, these statements may be used against you in relation to subsequent departmental charges. In addition to the above rights, you have the right to have counsel present during this questioning. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. If you would, once again, go ahead and this time, if you would, just sign it and then put the date underneath that date for me.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So that's your copy. That can go with you if you'd like. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell me what happened on Sunday between you and Deputy Pait?
So Sunday, I had gotten prior notice when I had tried to send an email notification to G to let him know what my availability was for March.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before you go forward, I'm going to have you sign the AIC.
Oh, okay.
This is a copy of exactly what you have right there.
Mm-hmm.
If I can have you sign right here. And all you're doing is signing that you received the copy of the AIC and you're aware of it. And then date it for me.
Okay.
Okay. You said you're G, and that's Gary Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
So he had emailed out asking us for our March availability. I lost track of time and didn't get it out to him until I think it was like Thursday. And so I emailed him my availability saying that I was available, like, I guess it would have been this past weekend. So G went ahead and called me and said that he'll just put me on 3 with Pate, which I was excited about because 3 is a very easy intersection.
Okay.
And I typically will work intersection 4, and that can be a pain. But so I was excited about it. I was like, cool, whatever, not a huge deal. I go in on Sunday, and it was just like business as normal, but Pate was just off. And that's not normal for him. Also, I've never really worked with Pate except for when we were on patrol and he was a corporal for Driscoll and I was on night shift. So we overlapped a little bit being in when I was in Oak Grove and he was in Bridgeville.
Okay.
And so, of course, like we've handled a couple calls together and he's usually like, I would say like more type B, like more passive. So that's what was also weird about him being so frustrated. And I had made the comment to Venable because I was talking to Montesi and Venable. I don't think anyone else was there. And essentially on the side of the church is the entrance where we clock in. And so we were talking right there. And it was like right before we were supposed to go out. And Pate was sitting in his car. Pate stomped over, asked who was working on 3 with him. Venable told him because Venable and Duncan usually run it when G's not there. So G's in charge of the whole schedule. But if he's not there, physically there, then it's usually Venable or Duncan. Or both.
That would be the officer in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Venable says something along the lines of, oh, this young lady right here is going to be on 3 with you. And then he stomps off and Venable's like, so be nice to her. And I was like, what the hell is his problem?
Okay. When you say stomped to you and then stomped off, what does that mean?
He just
what
had
does
like,
stomping mean?
He just had like an attitude. Like he got out of his car he just looked mad.
Okay.
And then even just like the mannerism. And so when I had asked Venable made a joke. He was like, oh, he's probably like mad that he actually has to do some work because they don't really change where people are. So a lot of times, like if you're ever on a clicker, like the, I don't know the official term for it. It's like the thing that clicks up to the intersections.
Yes.
So, and I've only ever been shown that once, but usually it was like, I think it was Pate and then it was Clements before that. So there's just certain people that just always do that. And they never actually have to get into traffic and work traffic. But I was also kind of excited that I would be with Pate because Pate had usually been on patrol, and that's so much easier to work with someone who's been on patrol than someone who works in the jail.
Okay.
Because a lot of jail deputies, will work the intersection, and I'll typically work with Legner on 4, and it was difficult at first trying to get her used to working traffic control because she's never had to do it. So I was like, cool, 3 is very easy, and I'm going to be with someone that used to be in patrol. Like, we got this. And so I just kind of like let him be because I was thinking that maybe his attitude would change, or maybe something happened on his way into the church that he just put him in a bad mood. Because we never really see each other, even when I work the church. Like, we're never in the same area.
Gotcha.
So I remember going down to the intersection 3, which between intersections 3 and 4 is going to be like a turn lane. And typically, like, especially if we're going to have both entrances open, we're going to usually carpool down there because it's hard to, like, fill spots in.
Okay.
But at that point, like, it was already coned off and it said that there was no entrance into using 3. So Pate and I never got out of our cars, which I was like, whatever. We're still down here in case for whatever reason we do need to open up 3.
I have a picture of the intersection.
Yes.
That's the correct intersection?
Correct.
That's the turning lane that you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
So Pate was parked up here at the front. I was parked behind. And then Legner was parked behind us in her personal car. And then they put out traffic cones behind so people know not to use this. And then this whole strip right here was coned off and it had a sign that says no entrance. So Pate and I just waited in our cars. And then as soon as 9 o'clock hit, which is the first service time, as 9 o'clock hits, we like all left. But he kind of just like peeled off. So I was like, cool. His attitude's still not different.
Okay. And that was the your first shift, 8:30 to 9?
8:30 to 9 is when we let everyone in for the first service.
Okay.
And then we all typically will go in from 9 to 10 for a break.
Yep.
And then we'll go into the green room, which is where they'll serve us breakfast, like coffee, that type of stuff. And we all usually will just hang out, catch up with one another.
Okay.
And then from 10 to 11, we'll usually go back out to whatever places that we're assigned to. So we already know to go there and then what we need to do for each respective intersection. And then we'll go back in for another break. Or sometimes I'll go to the car wash. I'll run by South. Just something. That's our break time. Yeah.
Yep.
So 11 to 12. And then the last service gets out at 12 or shortly after. And then we're there until 12:45.
Okay.
So we're there from 8:30 to 12:45. And we only really have to work, like actually be working something about half the time.
Gotcha.
Very super cush job.
Okay.
So he takes off, whatever, not a huge deal. I don't even see him go into the church area. So I end up going into the church area. We go do breakfast, coffee, all hang out,
Okay.
all having a pretty chill time. Around 10, I come back out. I couldn't get one of the church radios. So I parked up here. The church radio is relevant because that's when they'll announce, like when they're on the last song and we know we need to get out of our cars and start directing traffic because then people will start sneaking out.
Okay.
So I park here, which it's kind of curved around here, and then you can see the front door of the church. So whenever I see a crowd coming out is when I know it's going to be release time. You just can't see the intersection, like the main intersection where Montesi and Burgos were.
Okay.
And then back here, you'll have intersection 4, which you can kind of see, but there's all these trees here. And again, it's on a slight curve, so sometimes they're hard to see.
Gotcha.
So I come out here at like around 10. I'm hanging out. I see that the crowd's leaving the church at like 10:09. And so I end up coming out here, removing all the cones, getting everything situated so this way cars can come out and exit.
Okay.
So then it's 10:09. There's not really a lot of cars because at this point I'm seeing people walk out of the church. So they haven't really gotten to their cars yet, obviously. Well, then around like 10:15 is when Pate comes out. And essentially, Pate...
No, wait, when you say comes out, he comes walking out, or does he drive around?
He had driven around,
Okay.
and then at this point, so my car's first, he is second, and then Legner is back in the back.
Okay.
So Pate is in his car behind me, and he stays in his car the entire time I'm breaking down
Gotcha.
this area. So I was like, whatever. Again, he's not in a good mood. No biggie. So I was just going to like let him be. Well, he gets out of his car, walks behind my car, and is like huffy puffy and just like literally like this in the intersection facing this way. So I was like, whatever, I'm not going to bother.
Facing which way?
Like
That way?
this way.
Gotcha.
Yes. So
Heading towards Main. He was looking towards Main Street.
correct. And so typically whenever we're in these intersections like this, because this is the main travel and this is the main travel, this is considered your backup person. Whoever's working this is your backup. So they just follow the leader over here. You know, like normal traffic direction.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever have two people being primary on an intersection because then you're just going to cause car accidents. So I was like, cool. He wants that spot. Don't care. I'll let him have it. So I see him step out and he stops traffic. So I was like, cool. Obviously, that means I'm letting my people out. So I start letting my people out. And we're a few cars into this when all of a sudden, mind you, again, I'm facing directly this way because I have oncoming traffic and I'm trying to face to the side of me so this way I can stop these cars so they don't hit me. So I'm watching these two. I'm trusting him behind me. And so I'm directing people out. And then I remember this woman, she was trying to come out. Mind you, again, there had already been multiple cars that I had let through. And we only had like, I think a couple more cars to let through. And then we could have been at a good stopping point to resume traffic.
Okay.
So then all of a sudden he starts screaming at this lady. He's like, stop, 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 stop. And I turn around and I'm like, hey, sorry. Like, I thought we were still going. So then she backs up. She's confused and irritated. After he releases whoever he's already let go, and they get to a good stopping point, I was like, hey, like, can you communicate with me the next time you release traffic? And I say it just like that. And I was like, because I'm not looking at you. I can't see what you're doing. Could you just communicate with me? And he's like, you should be looking at me. And I was like, you can use your words. And that's when he just all of a sudden rips off his traffic vest, stomps to his car. So I was like, okay, maybe he needs a few minutes to just decompress and chill out. So then I come out into this area, like this lane.
This is lane number 1.
Yes.
This is lane number 2. Lane number 1 is the left-hand lane.
Correct. I'm in between. I'm on the dotted lines between 1 and 2. Because I'm trying to get these people to stop because I still have to let these people out. So I'm getting these people to stop, and then my game plan was to just get these people to stop and then let these people through and try to work this intersection as a one person, even though it's not ideal by any sense of the imagination. So these people start to stop. The one in the number 2 lane had already stopped here. There were people coming up through 1 lane, and then Pate all of a sudden whips his car out and stops. So I'm like this in the roadway saying to stop. He stops with the other cars after cutting off one, and then he all of a sudden gasses it and kind of like whips around me into the number 2.
And where's that vehicle that you said stopped?
So it would, do you mind if I use your pen? Or can I write on this?
I was going to have you write on it, yes.
Okay.
But I don't want you to draw other vehicles right now.
No worries.
So just tell me, okay, you're standing somewhere, you said in between the hash marks.
Yes.
You're like right on the hash marks.
Mm-hmm.
You stop traffic. He pulled out. Is he in lane number 1 yet?
Yes. And then he ended up stopping in 1.
Where is that other vehicle that you said was?
It's kind of further back a little bit.
Behind him then?
Yeah. It wouldn't be side by side with him.
Okay.
It's not side by side with him. So he's stopped in the 1. So I'm trying to get them to stop. I see people still coming up in the back. So I'm stopping. And then all of a sudden he gasses it, comes into the number 2, and then whips around me and speeds off.
Okay.
And then so I just try to continue to hold this, even though that just confused everyone back here. So I'm trying to hold the traffic. I get these people stopped. I get these people out. I then resume all of this and let this continue going back. I get into my car, and then that's when I call Venable.
Okay.
And because G wasn't there, so I called Venable thinking he was going to be in charge of it. And Venable's like, well, I'm working this intersection. I was like, can you radio that we need to shut down 3 because I cannot work 3. 3 is way too busy right now. I'll try to get the people out that I can, and I don't know what the hell is going on. And at this point, like, I started crying because, like, I'm so confused. And so I called Venable, and then Venable's like, just shut down 3. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. So I get these people out, and then he radios over to let the volunteers know, so they cone off the top area.
Right.
So I cone off the bottom after I get all these cars out. I cone off the bottom and then get into my car, and I call G. So I called G, and I was like, hey, did Pate happen to call you? And he's like, yeah, what the hell is going on down there? And I was like, I don't know what his issue is. I was like, but it's like he tried to run me over. Like, why would you stop and then gas it and then also whip across me? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Also, you're failing to control a traffic control device. I'm literally in the roadway, in a uniform, in a bright yellow high-vis vest, and one of my own almost hits me with her car. So, and it's not like the others who accidentally almost hit us because they're coming around the curve too fast. Like, that wasn't, you did that on purpose. And for what? A temper tantrum that I had nothing to do with? And all I did was ask you to communicate with me? So I'm telling this to G, and G's like, oh, well, he has a lot of stuff going on. I was like, that's not acceptable. I have a lot of stuff going on. I don't need to be run over on top of it.
Okay.
And so I was upset. And mostly I think I was like, it just seemed like G didn't give a shit. I was like, this isn't a normal problem. And he's like, I'll see if Montesi can switch with you. Like, I'll see if Montesi can come down there with you. I was like, okay, I have no idea where Pate went at this point. So since 3 was shut down, I wanted to try to chill out. I went into the main church. I went to go find Duncan. I texted Duncan to see where he was.
Before we get to that, you speaking with Duncan and everything, let's get you to draw this for me.
Okay.
I'm going to grab another pen, and that way it can help me kind of really see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. However you want to do it. Go ahead and put your vehicles.
Okay. So my vehicle would have been here. And then, do you want me to draw Pate's?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So then Pate would have been like right here in his Charger.
And then
I'm in my Escape, and Legner is back here.
Got you.
And then she has cones like here.
Copy that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then grab the pen. When you first start walking out into lane number 1, has Pate moved his vehicle yet?
No, he was still behind me.
So you're like thinking, okay, he's going to stay in his vehicle for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and stop the westbound traffic.
Yeah, I figured he would come out whenever he was ready.
Gotcha. So you step out, and when he first moves his vehicle into lane number 1, show me where you are standing.
I'm already like right here.
Okay. Would you say that's right on the middle of lane 1 and 2?
Yeah, because I'm trying to make sure that the people coming out of this curve can see me.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I'm not even just going like stop. I am being dramatic with the movement so they can see, because a lot of times they were just released from this 4, so they were already starting to gas it. So I was like, nope, you're stopping again.
Okay. And then now he's moving his vehicle. You're already there. You're stopping the oncoming traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Show me where he pulls out and stops.
So he pulls out and stops like up towards here.
Okay. How far do you think he is right now from you? You're standing there, and how far do you think his bumper is? Give me a rough estimate what you think.
Within a car space, like a car's distance away.
Okay.
Probably
the length of this room, 10 feet. I'm not really sure how long a
to be generous.
Charger is.
To be generous, yes.
Okay. And then the vehicles over here stop somewhere back here, I imagine?
Yeah, so I have like a car, and they're kind of like, they're starting to stop here, and they're kind of like slow rolling up, so I think they end up...
Okay, they start slowing down near
like
Legner's
here.
vehicle and end up closer to where his vehicle originally was.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Now, this is what I need to really know.
Mm-hmm.
You say he almost hit you. He hasn't almost hit you yet. Am I correct?
Correct.
What happens next?
He gasses it, and then he whips it over here, so that's when I jump back.
Okay, so then you're forced to take a couple steps to your right.
Yeah.
Okay, how many steps did you think you had to take?
I don't even know. It happened so fast.
Okay, and when he goes by you, I think you originally told Harris that you think it was 5 to 6 feet, and you guys used some sort of tape measure?
So when I used a tape measure, I was thinking like of that's how far he was when he was stopped.
Okay.
No, he was substantially closer to me.
How far do you think he was when he went past you?
Because I was still in this number 1 lane. Because originally I was in between the 2 lanes because I was trying to stop both lanes.
Now, pay attention to what happens next. Juergens is visibly, verbally, emotionally upset. She is describing an incident in which she says another deputy's vehicle passed close enough that she had to jump away so she didn't get hit. But Lieutenant Barone tells her what he did is shitty, but he didn't almost hit you. Barone reaches that conclusion while Juergens is still trying to explain that if she had not moved, the vehicle could have struck her. Instead of allowing her account to stand and investigating it objectively, he appears to begin narrowing and reframing it during the interview itself. Of course he does. Then the focus shifts. Rather than remaining focused on why Deputy Pait accelerated through an intersection that was occupied by another person, let alone this officer, Barone begins questioning Juergens about using the F word while she was upset after the incident, which I personally probably would have done too.
Okay.
So this way, because I don't ever stop in just 1 lane unless I'm shutting down just that 1 lane. So I was in between lanes. So then when he whips around me, I have to jump back, but I can really only get back to the 1 lane.
Okay.
So by the time he blows by me, I'm like still in the 1 lane.
In the middle of the 1 lane?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And then would you say he's centered into lane number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. What he did is shitty, but he didn't almost hit you. It doesn't sound like he almost hit you. Am I wrong or am I right?
I don't know why you would continue to go when you're being stopped or why you would try to cross. So yeah, and if I didn't jump out of the way, he probably would have.
Okay.
So, and that's what sucks. Whether that's what he meant to do, I don't know. I don't know if he just, I would like to not think he would because he doesn't seem like that type of person. And I've never had an issue with him before.
Right.
No one's ever had an issue with him before. So I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But yeah, like.
Okay. If you would, sign your name up here for me somewhere if you could, just so I can know that was written by you. I'm sorry about that.
Hold on.
Here, maybe on the...
work with it.
That'll work for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so you jump over, you're like here, and he drives by you. Way too close for your comfort.
Yeah.
And you said that he floored it?
Yeah.
Because I know it's an old vehicle. It sounds like a rough vehicle. Does he fly by you like he did floor it? You tell me what you think he did.
It's just like he got pissy and just like accelerated and just gassed it and went by.
Okay.
And it's like he just didn't even care that like I was in the middle of the road and that I was right there and that I had to jump out of the way.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I don't agree, and I never said that he drove it at me. He didn't ever drive it at me. Otherwise, he could have just stayed in the one lane.
Right.
It's like he was trying to be an asshole and try to get close to me without actually hitting me.
That's what I think.
Yeah. But he definitely would have if I didn't jump out. I don't know if he just had tunnel vision, he wasn't paying attention, but...
Okay. That helps me a lot here. Thank you. All right. Where were you leave off? You were meeting with Duncan?
Yes. So I go through the main entrance, so I have to go all the way up, turn, and then I go into the building towards where...
You guys get your radios and stuff?
Yeah, and I was trying to find where Duncan was, because a lot of times he's just walking around, because he's an internal person. So I was going to let Duncan know, since he was also one of the supervisors, and basically Venable was like, hey, I'm working my intersection.
I can't help you right now.
So I was going to go find Duncan. I'm still emotional at this point, because I can't believe what the hell just happened. And so I text Duncan and try to find him. He tells me he's in the green room. So I text him. I was like, Pate, try to hit me with his car. And I was like, this is insane. And I was also still mad about G. Because someone tells you that this just happened and your response is, oh, well, he has a lot going on. It's not like, hey, I'll address this when we have a second. Just stay away from it.
Right.
There was no solution to it.
Right. But G wasn't working. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So then I go find Duncan. Duncan's in the green room. There's some other people in the green room. I'm trying to be quiet. I probably wasn't, because I'm always loud. So I was like trying to like whisper to him and be like, yeah, we had to shut down 3. I was like, Pate almost hit me with his car. And because he hadn't seen the recent text message that I had sent him. I did say fuck. Because I think I said something along the lines of, he tried to hit me with his fucking car.
Let me be clear. Professional language around children is a fair workplace concern. The department had every right to examine whether her language violated their courtesy policy. But Barone went considerably further, okay? He told Juergens that using the F word in front of a child is a crime, and he said that the department had contacted the family to ask whether they wanted to pursue criminal charges against her. I don't know. I could be wrong, and I'm not giving legal advice because I'm not an attorney, but that is not how Georgia's disorderly conduct statute reads. Under OCGA section 16-11-39, profanity within earshot of a child is not automatically a crime merely because a child heard it. The statute applies when someone, without provocation, uses obscene, vulgar, or profane language in the presence of or by telephone to a person under 14, and that language threatens an immediate breach of the peace. The law requires more than a simple presence of a curse word, Lieutenant Barone. In this interview, Juergens describes using profanity while speaking to another adult after an incident that had left her crying and distressed. And based on the recording, Barone does not identify a threat directed toward a child or explain how her words threatened an immediate breach of the peace. So why present possible criminal charges to her in the middle of her complaint against Deputy Pait? What effect would that have on an already distressed employee who had just explained that she was afraid of being labeled a problem or a snitch by someone in the department? And why did the investigation spend so much time scrutinizing her emotional reaction while appearing to minimize the conduct that caused it?
He almost hit me with his fucking car.
Right.
And
this is where I really want you to be honest with me.
Yeah. And then
Who was present in the green room?
I honestly don't even know.
Okay.
I was kind of just honed in. I was in the doorway, and then Duncan was like, shh, there's children nearby. I was like, my bad.
Okay.
And then he was like, go ahead, like, go clock out, chill out. We'll figure this out later. And then that's when I ended up just, like, walking outside. And then that's when I saw Pate working a 3-man an intersection with three people total, which we don't ever do unless you're, like, training someone new.
Is that
and that's
the
when I
main
called
section?
Yes.
Where Burgos?
Yes. And that's when I called G and I was like, is Pate still here? And he's like, well, yeah, I was just going to swap y'all out. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable working here with someone like that. And he's like, well, we'll address this as a group. And I was like, it is not a group problem. This is not even a me problem. This is a Pate problem. Something needs to be addressed with Pate. And addressing it with the group isn't going to do anything because then now it's just going to start gossip about what the hell happened.
Okay.
And so at the time, I had only told the 3 people that run that church.
Which is G, Duncan, and Venable?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, gee, that's insane. And I don't feel comfortable working for an environment where there's no repercussions for that. And there is no resolution except for we're going to have a group talk.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, he's like, well, are you going to be here next Sunday? I was like, I don't know, G. It depends on what's going on with this.
Okay.
And so I ended up clocking out, and which I told, it's not like I just clocked out and just left out. I told G, and Duncan had also said to go home because I was,
right.
And I also told G, I was like, respectfully, I was like, I'm so livid at what happened, and I don't want any more issues the rest of today. And because I don't know what Pate's going to say or do, because I didn't expect the first stuff to happen.
Right.
And there wasn't even an argument. All it was, hey, can you communicate with me? And then he snaps at me that I should be watching him.
Okay.
It was over nothing.
Let me ask you this. What investigative steps did you take after that?
I called my roommate. Well, Cannabis is my roommate. I called him like crying because he knew I was working the church job. And so I was like, I'm coming home early.
Where is Cannabis? What's his position?
He was in Arctic at the time because he was doing light duty there. Okay. So I was like, hey, do you know if there's any Fusus cameras? Because I already know that I'm going to get fucking asked if there's cameras. I don't have a camera. I don't think Pate does. And it's like, all my problems would be solved if there were freaking cameras. And then I was like, there's no cameras. No one's going to believe it. Or people are just going to assume that I did something to cause this reaction from him.
Right.
So I was like, whatever. He was like, I don't think there's cameras in that area. I was like, all right. I was like, I'm just going to go home and just chill out. And that's like...
Okay. What happened between the time of the incident to the following day? I understand you called some people and said you didn't want this to go forward.
Yeah, so...
What changed your mind? Because you were accusing somebody of aggravated assault.
Mm-hmm.
He almost hit me with my car. It's a serious matter. The brass knew about it right then and there. You know, when stuff like that happens. What made you change your mind? Because I understand that CID asked you if you wanted to pursue criminal charges.
I prayed on it, and I don't want any more problems, and I've got nothing but hell since the Mason and Tyler things. I'm already not believed. I'm already told that I'm a problem and that I'm a snitch. And there's no cameras. And then I already knew that people are just going to spin it as I'm just this terrible person to work with and that I caused all this. So I was like, I just wanted a conversation with someone, and I knew Captain Downey. Because when I had like my cancer scare, Downey had checked on me like almost every single day, and he's always been a pretty chill person. So I was like, you know what, maybe we can handle this. Person. I was like, maybe we can handle this in-house.
But at that time, it's just, you didn't know this.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And so I ended up...
I think Harris has already been made aware of it.
So I texted him. I waited till 8 in the morning. I clocked in at Oak Grove. I texted him at 8, and I was like, hey.
Who's he?
Captain Downey.
Gotcha.
I was like, do you have a moment for a quick call? And so he ended up calling me like a few minutes later. I was already driving on 92, headed to the office. And he was like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, look, like, I want to make you aware of an incident. I don't want it to be an AIC. I just want to be able to go into work, tell my supervisors, hey, something happened, but it's getting squashed by a supervision. And I was like, I think he needs help because I don't know what's going on with him because it's not a normal reaction. And I'm just so tired of stuff happening.
Let me ask you this. If you've had no history in this office and there was no talk, like you said, I've already been called this, I've been called that. If there was none of that, do you feel like you would have wanted to go forward with the AIC and possibly criminal charges against Deputy Pait?
I think the AIC, I don't really feel comfortable with like the criminal charges. Okay. I would rather...
You would have been comfortable with it going forward with an AIC.
Yeah.
I understand. I get you.
there's no winning. So,
Let's back up to the part where you were cussing.
yeah.
Because that's where I said you made mistakes.
Yeah.
You made big mistakes. Because from what I understand, you dropped the F-bomb more than once, more than twice. And the pastor's wife was there, and 4 children, age 6 and younger. That's a crime. Cussing in front of a child, dropping the F-bomb in front of a child is a crime. We had to reach out to them to find out if they wanted to pursue criminal charges against you. Thankfully, they don't.
I'm really sorry. I didn't realize that.
You recall the statute, cussing in front of a child? I think it's 14 and under.
I didn't ever think that was prosecutable anymore.
I believe it is.
I thought they had removed that.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not in CID any longer, but we had to reach out to the family, and they said no. It just. I understand that Mrs. Masad, I think is the pastor's name, Julie. When you had left, she looked at Duncan and said, "Problem," and her kids clearly heard you cussing like that. That's not acceptable, Amanda. You need to be able to put your emotions in check when something like that happens. Try and calm down a little bit.
I should have asked him to probably step outside.
I've been told that is a problem that you have. You dropped the F-bomb. You don't know if you're doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something I've been working on.
Please work on that. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to ding you for that.
Okay.
You're going to get dinged for that. And I apologize straight ahead, but let's learn from it, okay? Let's learn from it. Is there anything I didn't ask that you think would be beneficial to my investigation?
I don't really think so. It's just a crap situation.
Okay. If I've got some follow-up questions, I'll reach out to you, and we can go from there, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask real quick?
Of course.
Do we know what the ding will be?
The what?
The ding? Is it like a write-up?
Oh, no. What you did is a courtesy violation. You cussed. You used profanity.
Yeah.
And that's a courtesy violation.
Oh.
And I don't know. That's not up to me. That will be your supervisors, your commanders that would decide if there's any type of discipline.
Okay.
When I say ding you, I'm going to sustain that particular part of the violation.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And to let you know, when I talked to Pate, I'm not done with my investigation, but I said, whatever else happens as far as the almost hit me, tried to hit me, I go, you're getting dinged for abandoning your post. You left another officer out there in the middle of an intersection, and that's unacceptable. So he's getting dinged too.
Yeah.
And I don't mean discipline. I mean, I will sustain that part of the allegation. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
The time now is 12:46 p.m., and this will conclude the interview.
She was almost hit by a car. Detective Juergens did not claim that she could read Deputy Pate's mind. Never claimed it. She acknowledged that she could not know whether he intended to strike her, but she consistently maintained that he did accelerate past her, towards her, came dangerously close, and then she had to jump out of the way so she didn't get hit. She also described that supervisors who initially were approaching the situation, they were treating it as something to address through a group conversation. For what? By the end of the internal affairs interview, Barone says he expects to sustain a violation against Pate for abandoning his post. But the question of how and why he operated his vehicle near Juergens appears to receive very different treatment. Meanwhile, Juergens is told that her profanity is a sustained courtesy violation and the possibility of criminal charges against her is raised during the same interview. This is not about excusing unprofessional language. It's not. It is about proportionality, objectivity, and why or how an agency responds when one officer reports feeling endangered by another, or a person for that matter. Was Detective Juergens' complaint investigated with an open mind, or was the focus redirected toward her conduct and her emotional reaction? Did the department examine whether fear or retaliation or reputational harm actually discouraged her from pursuing charges? And was Deputy Pate's conduct treated with the actual seriousness that would have been applied if the person standing in the roadway had been a supervisor or a captain or the sheriff himself? So in part 3, we're going to compare this account with the statements of Deputy Pate and the other witnesses. There's some interesting conversation, and then you can decide whether this was a complete and impartial investigation or another example of an agency that was protecting itself while the person making the complaint is placed under the microscope. Affairs sustains a violation to make it disappear.